And as soon as I hear.
We're recording.
All right, thank you all. I'd like to call the June 2nd regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission to order. We'll start with roll call. Commissioner Dorf.
Here.
Commissioner Laux.
Here.
Vice President Will Roloff indicated she might be a little late, and we're still waiting for Commissioner Cobb to attend, but we have a quorum, so we will continue with the meeting. The first item is approval of the agenda. You received the agenda in the mail and then also emailed. Any changes or corrections?
Move to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that's carried. Also in your packet was approval of two sets of meetings, the regular meeting of May 12th and the special meeting of May 18th. Any questions or corrections to those minutes? Motion to approve.
Move to approve the minutes.
Motion by Commissioner Dorf,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Laux. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Informational items. No additional reports from the president, other than I had the joy of getting COVID during my trip to Montana. So that kind of put a damper on a few things.
I thought Montana outlawed COVID.
Yeah, but when you're no longer a resident, that doesn't count anymore.
Probably picked it up going through South Dakota, right?
There you go. All right, report of the chiefs. Chief Copeland, why don't you go ahead?
All right, just a couple quick things. We had our recruits have completed their academy and they're out on the street working. Everything's going very well. Again, I know I mentioned it last time, but really a good group, and they're happy to be out there and doing the job. So the other thing that we have coming up here shortly on June 13th and 14th, we have the Battalion Chiefs Assessment Center to establish a eligibility list for the battalions. And we have 5 candidates scheduled for that. So once we get through that, we should have a good list going there. So that's about it.
All right, any questions for Chief Copeland? All right, thank you. Chief Davis?
Well, hi, everybody. It seems like every time we have one of these meetings, I'm traveling. So I'm joining you from the PERF conference in San Francisco. Not a whole lot of updates for us. I know we have some things on the agenda related to filling some of our vacancies. We've established a sergeant's eligibility list, obviously, that we'll be talking about later. We're currently at 12 sworn vacancies. And we're working with, we got an opportunity to work with the International Association of Chiefs of Police to collaborate basically on what they call one of their thought leaders videos that we'll be able, we think, to use as a pretty effective recruiting tool. And it goes out to all of the members of IACP worldwide. So that's an exciting opportunity on the horizon for us. For promoted positions, we are obviously still in the process, as I talked about at the last meeting, of working with human resources to make a couple of changes to the organizational structure to upgrade one position, potentially from captain to commander. And then once we finish that process, we should be ready to start the selection process for commander. We currently have 1 vacancy at that rank in our investigations branch. We have Captain Gary Riggles filling in as the acting commander there. Other than that, that's all I have.
All right.
Chief, did I understand that right? You're in the future, you're possibly thinking of a 3rd commander position?
Yes, I think we discussed this at a previous meeting before you came on board. So just in a nutshell, we're looking at reorienting the professional standards captain position to something that just takes in all of our personnel stuff in general. They're already responsible for recruiting, but we want to give them responsibility for all of personnel processes, including promotions, selection processes for specialty units, labor relations, all of that. And that just seems more appropriate at a commander level if you look at what the body of work is for captains versus commanders. And so we're, like I said, we're still working through all of that with HR on the details of how all that'll work.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions for the chief? All right, thank you, chief. And Jen, let the record show that Commissioner Cobb has joined the meeting. So with that, Rob, I'll give you the option here. Everything left on the agenda is going through bills or dealing with the police department. So if you would like to sign off, we understand. And
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I enjoy my time with you, but I'm gonna sign off and we'll talk to you next time.
all right, thank you.
You bet.
All right, the next items, item F, consideration with possible action on the budget status report and the budget status spreadsheet. This time of year, very little spending in both of those. Those are in your package. If there are no questions on them, I'll entertain a motion to receive those and place on file.
Motion.
We have a motion by Commissioner Cobb to receive and place on file. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Laux. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, those are carried. And item 2, consideration with possible action on a request to approve the monthly bills. Bills were all related to employment ads, psych evaluations, or background physicals. Any questions on those? If not, I'll entertain a motion to authorize payment.
Motion to authorize payment.
Okay,
Seconded.
Commissioner Cobb, second by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, we'll pay the bills. And next item is consideration with possible action on the request to approve the police sergeant promotional process. The list. So in your packet, you received the list. There were 4 individuals that applied, and all 4 were successful candidates. And so the list you see in your packet is provided in alphabetical order and will stay active for a year from this date. Any questions on the list?
What is your anticipation of promotions in the next year, Chief?
Anticipate promoting at least one fairly soon. We're anticipating a retirement at the sergeant rank, and then we have some other promotions coming up fairly soon. You know, again, we have a commander vacancy right now that we'll need to fill. That should have a trickle down effect, and then you can always count on at least one surprise in the average year. So I imagine we'll get pretty deep into this list. We're gonna, and actually one other thing I should mention is we're planning on asking the personnel committee for authorization to overhire by one sergeant fairly soon, because we anticipate a retirement in like late summer, early fall. And so we're hoping to have some time to onboard the new sergeant while we still have a full complement of sergeants, just to speed up that transition process a little bit. And we have the money in the budget. We should be able to accommodate that pretty easily.
All right, any other questions? If not, I'll ask for a motion to approve the list.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Dorf. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Laux. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the sergeant promotional list signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item is consideration with possible action on a request for promotion to the rank of police sergeant. The commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 2 Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. Is there a motion to go into closed session for that purpose?
Is it necessary to go into closed session on this one?
We don't have to if you don't think there's going to be any discussion, but since we are discussing an individual, we have the option to do closed session while that discussion takes place and then report an open session of the if there's a successful candidate.
Okay. All right, I'll move to go into closed session.
Okay, we have a motion to go into closed session by Commissioner Dorf. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cobb. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're in closed session.
Okay, we're recording again.
We're back in open session. While in closed session, we reviewed the sergeant promotional list and have chosen to promote Officer Brian Krieger at the next available position, which we expect to be sometime during the month of June, but the exact date is to be determined. So the commission congratulates Officer Krieger. With that, I will ask for a motion to confirm that that was the decision and discussion during closed session.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Cobb to confirm that. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Dorf. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that report is confirmed. The next two items deal with patrol officer interviews and background. So I will read both closed session reports or closed session announcements, and we will make one vote to go into closed session. We will cover both of those items. And upon going back into open session, I will report separately on those two. So the first is consideration with possible action on the review of patrol officer candidate backgrounds. The commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F, Wisconsin statutes to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. The second item is interviews with patrol officer candidates. Please take note that pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F, Wisconsin statutes, the commission may convene in closed session pursuant to the purpose of interviewing, evaluating, and considering employment of patrol officer candidates. Is there a motion to go into closed session for those two items?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Dorf. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Cobb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
All right, we are in closed session.
Okay, we're recording.
Okay, thank you. We're back in open session. Let the record show that at the beginning of closed session, Vice President Boyle Roloff arrived in the meeting and was involved in both the background review and the interview. So we reviewed one background and we conducted one interview of a candidate, and the decision of the commission was to continue that applicant in the hiring process. So I'll entertain a motion to confirm that report.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Laux,
Seconded.
seconded by Commissioner Dorf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that confirms the report. Set the date and time of the next meeting. Our next regular scheduled meeting will be July 7th. So I ask you to hold that, and we have an indication from the police department that we may be asked to do a special meeting in between now and then in order to conduct some additional background reviews and interviews. There are no public hearings on the agenda. So with that, that completes our agenda, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Boyle, seconded by Commissioner Boyle Roloff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? We are adjourned.